Hi folks, this is Delantech with another macro moment. Today I want to talk about the equipment that I use for shooting macro and go into my lighting a little. Now, kind of want to give you a disclaimer before we get going. This is the way that I shoot macro. It's based on my particular photographic style, the fact that I like to shoot handheld and that I like to photograph active subjects. It's not the way to shoot macro, and the only time that it's the best way to shoot is when I'm the one who's holding the camera. So, having said that, what we've got on the table here today is a Canon 40D, Canon's MT-25mm macro lens, which lets me go from life size to 5 times life size just by turning a ring, and Canon's MT-24 macro twin flash. Pretty much standard equipment in macro if you're a Canon shooter. What's not quite so standard is what I've done to the MT-24. What you see here is Kaiser's adjustable flash hue, and I'm using that to elevate the light that I use as my key. The purpose behind that is to get the two flash heads hitting the subject from two relatively different angles so that my specular highlights aren't harsh, and it really gives me some very dynamic three-dimensional lighting because I can get the light to wrap around the subject but not wrap around the subject evenly. If the light wraps around evenly, then the image would have a tendency to look flat. On the front I've got a puffer diffuser that's normally used for the pop-up flash on a camera, but I've got it hot glued to a pair of stove fins, and I've cut the front off of the stove fins so I can just use them as a frame. Also, this material here is from a LumaQuest Big Bounce. I'm just using it to push a little bit more light from the flash out the front of the diffuser, and you can kind of see through this one because I haven't covered it to the diffusion surface that's inside. The reason why I didn't cover the fill flash is because I like to use the focusing lamp on that one flash head from time to time. Don't get a chance to use it often because most of the critters that I shoot would get scared off by them, but from time to time it does come in handy. So for those of you wondering what I've done with my lighting or how I can get the kind of lighting that I get, this is it. Now, my best advice to you is to experiment with a lot of different plastics, a lot of different materials, and to keep in mind that there's a huge difference between diffusing the light and blocking it. You want nice, soft, even lighting. You don't want light that is going to give you, you don't want the diffuser so close to the flash head that you get a hot spot. And you really want to get as much light as possible out of the flash head and onto the subject. You don't want to block too much of it, otherwise your flash durations will climb too high and you'll have a difficult time freezing motion and getting sharp details. A lot of the detail that you see in my images is due to the fact that I can freeze the motion either by taking control of the motion in the scene with my left hand, holding onto the stem of a flower that the insect's on, for example, and also because I keep my flash durations as short as possible. That's all for this segment. Until next time, this is Delantech. Happy shooting.